Hello. Just doing a quick stopover at a previous home and driving back, so I'm going to engage full self driving and have a chat while we let the car do the driving, which is always nice. See how it does. It's kind of interesting on these residential streets, especially like the speed limit is 30, and with the offset, it picks it up to 36. Just like too fast, really, for neighborhood roads like this. But here we got a couple of people on bikes, and you can see on the screen it's picked them up and slowing down, being cautious around them, and waiting its time to make the turn. And here we go, watch, and we get on this road. Okay, now staying at 25, which is good. Nope, went back to 30. um, Here we go again, 30, drops, makes it go all the way back up to 36. Way too fast. I wish there was a additional setting, like it recognizes it's in a residential area and it has a different kind of offset, or it sticks to the speed limit rather. Sticks to the speed limit rather, instead of increasing it based on your offsets. All right. So it's good. I haven't had much footage of full self driving beta doing the rounds, and here comes a stick in the road. It would definitely be hitting that. So it doesn't yet really understand or identify these obstacles in the road: sticks, debris, tires, and we're back to 36 again. So that's a little bit of a shortfall of the system being able to kind of operate in these residential roads effectively, given the speed limits. Like it's just not worth going that fast. Go handling the four-way stop just fine. Cars coming, moving around, doing well, and we're off to the races. Um, Friday today, was kind of closely watching the market. I'm trying to ride this wave of moving into these hard assets like gold, silver, and particularly Bitcoin, and maybe potentially some of the other cryptocurrencies like ADA or Polkadot. Here's a situation where the road isn't well defined and it wants to try to like force itself over to the right hand side. It's doing okay because there's some cars there, but here we go. And we're making a right hand turn anyway, so it's trying to get prepared for that. Anyway, this will be good. We have a person walking, and so we'll just wait for her to pass. And there we go. Car sees her make her way to the sidewalk, and then it'll proceed. Quite safe around the pedestrians, takes extra caution. This will be good. I've always had trouble with this side of the road. I have a right-hand turn, but I need to get all the way to the left side. It's good that it started, but it didn't continue. Like at this point, it would have been worthwhile for the car to notice that we only have 4 blocks. It's traffic, with lights on each block. So it would be better to try to position yourself ready to make that left-hand turn coming up instead of taking it so slow waiting. See right here, better to continue all the way to the left lane, but it gets in the next lane, drives a little bit, and then proceeds to try to get into the left lane. That wasn't so bad. Worked out okay in that slow, methodical approach, but with heavier traffic, it ends up getting stuck many times. But yeah, so Bitcoin, obviously having a real surge since having that big drop to 19,000, what referred to as a bear trap. Um, but I mean, I think it just coincided with all the events that were going on around the economy, and then with the bank situation, kind of spotlighted the importance of, or at least contrasted between the current system around banking and finances being all centralized around these um, particular companies, and within the government itself, first decentralized, open ledger, transparent, um, always on, infallible, basically, uh, of Bitcoin. And I think it was a real moment for Bitcoin to shine, and it's it's taking this opportunity and seeing some real adoption, at least from a market sentiment and price action. So it's moved past 27,000 again, which has been some time since we've seen that kind of price. I think since last October. And if the momentum continues, which all at least I like to look at things from a trend. You follow the trend. The trend is your friend. And right now, the trend definitely is strong momentum upward for at least a while. I would suspect, breaking 30,000 and then seeing what happens from there, somewhere between 30 and 32,000 to reassess the situation before it possibly makes another run all the way to 50,000. But yeah, positioning, around that thesis. So watching the market, I do catch myself. I am not a good trader or short-term investor. Um, my emotions get the best of me. I get caught into if I read too much or listen to too many outside influences. It does that every time. This highway or this bridge has a blinking yellow light that indicates a drop of the speed limit down to 20 miles an hour. So it just hard brakes right there. So I need to disengage to kind of go with the flow of traffic. No other traffic's going to be stopping like that. Um, that was a little squirrely. But yeah, so the emotions get best of me. Like today, I had a little moment of like concern. I mean, I do believe that we're getting into like this scenario where there's an opportunity to see really strong upside in the market, surprising many people and creating a situation of FOMO. Um, but at the same time, I mean, there's just so much negativity out there, and it's hard not to fall into it. So for a moment, I had felt a little bit of uncertainty and decreased some of my position to lower my risk level and kind of distribute a little bit, which is not a good strategy for accumulating larger capital, but had to do what was comfortable. I didn't want to stress it over the weekend. Definitely watched some very, I guess, should have been easy trades for some quick upside. So that's disappointing. But live and learn. I grow through these opportunities and these experiences, and pick up some new knowledge and feel more comfortable with the next situation. The emotional calibration is, being fine tuned, and I learn how to kind of grow through being patient, seeing things develop, trust the analysis, trust the thesis, have some conviction. That's the hardest thing. Is like really understanding the value of conviction. I mean, as long as you've done the homework and you've studied things and you feel comfortable with your assessment, um, kind of knowing where your invalidations are, you really have to let things play out and be okay with some bumps in the road. Otherwise, you miss out on the real upsides. So, well, we'll see how things turn out Monday after this weekend. I'm hoping that the way I've assessed it is like the Bitcoin will have a nice surge over the weekend like it used to in the past. It's known for that kind of weekend activity, especially when there's a bit of already some existing excitement building up around it. So between now and Monday morning, seeing the price get up to right at 29,000, right below or right above 29,000, and then between Monday and Tuesday, seeing that final surge, at least for this interim impulse to the upside, kind of max out at that 30 to 32,000, where I hope to be nimble enough and be able to kind of decrease some exposure in order to take in some profits and then scale back in at a slightly lower price. See the retest around 26,000 before entering back in. Scale it back in between 27, 26,000 all the way down to 25,000 if it does retest that last critical point. Well, yeah, otherwise, I look to enjoy the weekend. The weather's been nice and chill here in Florida, here in Jacksonville. I enjoy it. I definitely prefer the cooler weather, and look to go out and get a run in and see what else can take place over the weekend. Been coaching a kids basketball team, which is fun. First for me, I did some assistant coaching on a flag football team, and I do enjoy interacting with the kids like that and trying to help them learn something. Feel have something to offer, and it always feels good to to help, especially help someone that's growing and has enthusiasm for learning. And they definitely do. They're kids are so excited to be given some attention, have someone play with them. Especially adults, and I'm happy to do that for them. So got a basketball practice on Sunday, our third practice at this point. Um, and look to kind of take a step forward from our last practice, make some additional improvements on their skill sets, and then be ready for our first game, which is coming up pretty quickly, which means that I really need to hone in on their ability to kind of coordinate together and play, make some shots. Here we go, and we are done. Later, guys.